All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church. Come on in, congregation. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're going to jump right in here. We're going to be talking about the two New York cops that was beat up by the migrants, the illegal aliens. Nobody want to call them that, but they here illegally. They haven't went through the process yet. They haven't been vetted. So I'm going to call them illegal immigrants. They're not here better in society right now. They've been allowed all the privileges without being actual citizens, right? And something I noticed is um, when evil is working with evil, they do things that end up ultimately hurting themselves, right? This right here is finna begin to hurt those who allow this huge illegal immigration into the United States of America. Those who allowed it to happen, those who turned a blind eye, those who looked the other way, those who took bribes, um, those who took advantage of the United States citizens, the taxpayers of the United States, who took their money and didn't do what was right at that border. They are finna pay dearly. Those government officials who was in charge of that, including the Biden administration, Biden himself, along with his administration, um, who were derelict in their duties to secure that border, they're finna pay dearly for it. And you can see it in these New York cops. Because it's more than just some thugs that slipped through the cracks and did some harm. This is organized, which means it was planned. In order for you to be organized, there's a plan. And so this was planned on the other side of the border. Then they came over here, and now they have this pickpocketing ring. And what happens when they get supplied with armed weapons? Right? Because that's coming. If they're sneaking them, they're sneaking in weapons. They're not going to just leave them without weapons. And you can buy weapons here. So they're going to take taxpayer dollars and start piling up. There's probably a stockpile going right now, stockpiling of armed weapons for them to take a percentage of this country over. Right now, they're doing test runs. That right there was a test run for them in New York. They didn't go to and you see that it's not happening in Republican states where the law is still being applied. Law enforcement is still being allowed to do their jobs. They said out their own mouths, we're not going to Florida because we'll go to jail there. So they don't have this rink going on anywhere, but it don't take them to go into these other states to get powerful. The border, if it don't if Governor Abbott And shout out to Governor Abbott for doing a good job of trying to secure his border, keep his state safe and not be overrun by the cartels. And there's not, listen, everybody keeps saying Mexico, 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 Mexico. That's not the only cartels. You got Chinese cartels. You have Japanese cartels. You have Philippine cartels. You have Honduras cartels. You have Russian cartels. You have European cartels. You have Dubai cartels. You have Puerto Rican cartels. You have Colombian cartels. And these cartels already done had, because of the drug trade, strongholds in a bunch of different states already. And the mafia still exists. Not as strong, not as powerful, not as formidable as they used to be, but they there. So let's not, come on, let's stop, downplaying and diluting this situation we in. And they're gonna send them, they're trying to send them to suburbs to pillage, right? To rob, to pillage, to mug, to intimidate wherever they can. And it's planned and it's organized. They got an organized ring from these 8 immigrants, is a ring of pickpocketers and robbers. And like I say, once you arm them, you're going to have real trouble. And the thing that was more lawless about this situation was the lawlessness of the New York judicial system. Those are the ones who are more lawless than the illegal aliens. The 8 illegal aliens or more who jumped those 2 police officers. The ones who are more lawless and more accountable and more responsible is the governor and the rest of the New York judicial system. It starts with her and it goes down. She should have Alvin Bragg's removed. She should have been had him removed when he failed to deliver on the Trump situation. When he ran on that, when he lived that, and it didn't work out. It didn't pan out. It's not going to pan out. It didn't do what it was meant to do when he started the crap, and it ain't going to do what it is when it's all said and done. It's not going to do a thing to Trump. And another thing about Trump is that money that woman thinks she gonna spend, that she was bragging on, what's her name? Jean Carroll. That woman ain't finna spend a dime of that money, because that money that is gonna get, that appeal is gonna go through and that's gonna get shot down. But they just needed it for, it was fodder for them to talk to the audience that's for some reason still on these media outlets, right? Like CNN and CBS and NBC and MSNBC. They're on there with this crap, and for some reason they still have an audience, but I think it's dwindling. I think the more they get caught up uh, in fallacy and foolishness and just outright lies on their part, um, I think their audience continues to diminish. Anyway, that being said, yeah, I'm just talking about these two cops shouldn't have never got beat up. The only thing that's really curious to me is where was backup? Because they couldn't attack both of them. You could see both of them not completely being attacked at the same time without calling for backup. Did that happen or did that not happen? And if it did happen and they called, why was the response? I've never seen them not have backup. I've never seen that. I've never seen that in my life. I haven't. So I'm curious as to what was the situation with them not having backup come to them, right? I did never see backup, and that was unusual for me. And like I said, I mean, this video does not even have to be long because we know what's going on. They've no cash, the no bail law they have in New York is tearing New York apart. It's ripping it apart. It's allowing criminals in New York to thrive. It's allowing evildoers in New York to thrive. Right? But this all goes without saying. This was ridiculous from the start. This was ridiculous from the start. And it was, and listen, let me show y'all something. I wanna pull up something first. And then I'm finna show you something. I'm finna say something to you that's finna show you something about this no bail thing going on, right? All right. So anyway, okay. So here it is, right? This is what I got to say about this. All right, because this is taking its sweet time. It always does this to me every time I'm trying to get something done with one of these videos, and I need to use my computer, which is like I'm talking about excruciatingly slow, right? It does this. So anyway, I want to show y'all something. Now, they did no cash bail, and they did it under the guise of blackface. Blackface, black race. They used the black race to get everybody on board with no bail, right? Catch and release, whatever you want to call it. No cash bail, defunding the police. Black Lives Matter was behind all of this. Black Lives Matter, Al Sharpton, well, I can't think of the other lawyer that got involved in the Rashad case where he was shot by a Wendy's. He was sleeping, supposed to be sleeping in the car, and they woke him up and questioned him. He took off on him, and they tased him, and I think shot him or something like that. Anyway, but it was a lawyer that got involved in that, and it was a lawyer there when they did this march. Like, this was during COVID. And I get his name, I'm gonna talk about him, right? But him and Al Sharpton been showing up. George Floyd, he showed up there. Him and Al Sharpton. But anyway, all of these black leaders, black politicians, the Democratic Party, and whoever else had influence or any kind of power to push this agenda forward was involved in it, and it was the majority of black people. And it's been doing nothing but tearing up black communities. This soft on crime attitude in Chicago, in New York, in LA, San Francisco, excuse me, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, even Washington, D.C. All of these people from the Democratic Party or just influencers, right, who agree with this, I don't know, this lawlessness, okay? This lawlessness. They allowed this to happen, and all these black people who was using, the communities, black communities, like statistics, poverty, things like this, got to yelling, we need critical race theory, we need DEI, is there systemic racism going on, and all of this, right? But that no bail, right? No cash bail policy, wherever it's been instituted at and applied at, is systemically destroying the black communities. It's systemic racism. They're the ones responsible for creating systemic racism against their own people. And it was all done to line their pockets, because the money that they said they was going to allocate to somewhere else has been embezzled time and time and time again. Look at it. Go look at it. All this money that was supposed to be allocated somewhere else that they said would do a better job than what the police was doing, and gave all these stupid reasons for defunding the police, has systematically, which is the word systemic, it derives from system, has systemically been the reason for causing crime to rise and economic value and social value and cultural value in black communities to decline while they allow crime to rise, right? The social values, the social influence, the recreational influence of Chicago, the tourism, you get what I'm saying? The attraction to come live in Chicago, they destroying it systematically. And they doing it by raising the crimes rates in the black communities. They using the black communities to go rob and mug these stores, right? These snatch and grabs. But that is taking food off they mama and auntie's tables. People who are not street people, who are not living streets, but they nephews and they stupid uncles who still living by that street life. They nephews, they nieces, they aunties, all of them who used to be on the streets, this snatch and grab is a new scheme for them. But it's to our destruction for those black Americans, black people who work hard for a living. It's going to dry up, and it's going to make them put robots in there. It's going to make them, and it's going to attract people to online shopping more and more, so that nobody is coming to your city to get robbed or mugged or snatch and grab. So what are you going to do then when that runs out? You going to try to go to the suburbs and do it? Come on, man. Them people is prepared. The most people who live in suburbs, one thing about them, they practice legally bearing arms. They go practice at shooting range. They're not just shooting out in the streets randomly and stupidly. They have militias in them suburbs, and eventually when they see that the government is against them and committing ultimate treason, they're going to fight against that. And you're going to have bloodshed like you never did before. I'm telling you, this is street church. I'm going to lay it all out for you. You know, the street word is they ain't going. I ain't going, which means I ain't going for you trying to rob me for my change or my money or what I got, right? That's the word. I ain't going. They ain't going neither. When y'all get done robbing Walgreens and Walmart to the point where they can't have businesses there, they're going to be, you're not going to the suburbs with that. Them people is going to be fortified. They're going to be prepared for that. You think they ain't, but they is. They prepared for it, and you're causing it. Instead of you walking in there to go get a job at Walmart, you snatching and grabbing. Taking money out of your community. Taking money out of your, always taking money out of your community. What is wrong with y'all young people, man? Y'all not going to live forever, man. It's not going to be allowed for y'all to do this because they glad that y'all making them leave and getting out of there. Your mama you're gonna wake up and your mama and your aunties ain't gonna have not one job. They're not gonna be able to go get a job. Because y'all keep snatching and grabbing. Because all I see is young men. It's some girls involved too. They involved. They go in there with them. But you young girls, you young men of all ages, right? You know, from teenager to young adults, and it's all you minorities, right? Mexicans, Asians, whites, y'all all think that this is fun. Y'all do this little secret thing where y'all texting each other to be some kind of snatch and grab mob. You ain't thinking nothing about your mama, your auntie working there. You ain't thinking nothing about your cousins working there, needing that job. That girl got a couple kids and the daddy ain't no good. She working 2 jobs, but y'all done took one because y'all done snatched and grabbed so much. Walgreens got to close. Walmart got to close. In-N-Out got to close. And the government is happy because they want to be able to be all federal. They want federal policing. That's the trick. They want to have you like China, where you got to do eye retina scans for a vending machine. Y'all just won't listen. Just won't listen. It was wrong what they did to those police officers in New York. Glad to see that they were not harmed beyond recovery. They'll recover. Thank God for that. But whoever can see this video, you better get it in front of your young nephews, your young nieces, your auntie who can't stop living that street life. your uncle who can't stop living that street life, your little or your older brother who don't want to stop living that street life and they think this snatch and grab is something they deserve because you done let these crooked black politicians make you believe that white people who own these businesses or whoever own these businesses, or they white privileged, insurance to pay for it. Y'all better stop thinking that stupid crap. It's destroying your community. It's destroying your community. And you're going to pay dearly for it. So, and these illegal aliens that they letting come in this country, they here to take over. They here to become the urban community that you are. And they going to arm them. In a minute, they going to arm them. Because they want to kill you off as black Americans. They ain't never consider you Americans anyway. And I'm talking about the people who convinced you to think snatching and grabbing is okay. And people who said, let them just riot, let them get that out of them. You know what I'm saying? They convinced you to think they was on your side. They the ones who had them U-Hauls supplying y'all during COVID with all that stuff to protest with. Had y'all on a whole year and a half long run going around tearing up stuff. Man, they did that so they could do exactly what they doing to you now. They preparing to take you. They prepared to take your Generation Z. Look, there's nothing after Z. Think about it. They calling y'all Generation Z for a reason. Ain't nothing after Z, X, Y, Z. Yeah, they ain't calling y'all Generation Z for nothing. You better try to think. All right, listen. Maybe I have to do another video on Gen Z and what's in store for y'all, so y'all can get it. So whoever get this video in front of them, they can hear some sound wisdom and thoughts about what they got planned for y'all Gen Z. Because it's coming. And it's already happening. They already using y'all. They've been using y'all since COVID. Even before that. But they really using y'all so y'all would self-destruct. And y'all giving them what they want. Anyway, this is Street Church. I'm going to let the congregation out. God bless.